It is my pleasure to welcome Jill Amery, editor of UrbanMommies.com, to Studio 4 to tell us more. And we can't forget UrbanDaddies.com either.
Urban Daddies are always left out, I find. So we launched Urban Daddies to give them the edge. There's so many dads that stay at home now with their kids.
Yeah. And I don't know many dads who know how to put in a barrette or French braid, if you know what I mean.
And if you look now on Pinterest, which I know a lot of dads aren't doing, but there are so many tips on how to braid your little girl's hair, how to give her a great hairstyle, how to tie a neat, how to tie a neat tie for a toddler.
I can't French braid either, so I shouldn't just say dads can't French braid. How did it all begin, Urban Mommies? Why?
Well, I actually took over the company about 4.5 years ago, and I was so excited. It was a local company at that time, and I was so excited by the prospects and the logo and the design and the pink and brown and the funkiness of it. So I thought that it could go national and then it could go international. And I had a very difficult time with my first child specifically. He had colic for over a year. And
I had one. I know, and had I not been married at the time, I don't know what I would have done with this screaming
It's so difficult. You need two parents, which is why I'm so favorable, I think, to dads, because my husband was such a hands-on dad. But I remember being at Granville Island Market and having people come up to me and say, your baby is cold. Your baby needs to nurse. Your baby, you know, you're not doing something right. He's hungry, he's this. And I just thought, this is ridiculous. There's so much judgment out there. If you breastfeed, if you don't breastfeed, if you use formula, if you don't. And I just felt like the opportunity to take over this company was a great way to be supportive to parents and not judgmental.
Yes, you know, last week I had on Claire Dieterer, and she wrote My Life in 23 Yoga Poses about the pressures to be perfect mummy and do everything right for your child, from organic. I mean, alas, alack, if you didn't feed your child organic, what would happen?
Well, and if you're not growing the organic vegetables in your backyard.
Yes, so super mom has to be really super mom. And be involved in every activity and on top of everything and all of that, and highly competitive, and have a child who's highly competitive, because if your child, your 5-year-old, can't play the violin by 5, what have you done wrong?
Yeah. Well, but the Mandarin, I'm sure, is
yeah, Mandarin too. Speaks 5 languages by 12.
I find so many parents lose themselves completely once they've had children, because they're expected to be doing the Mother Goose classes and everything else, and you can take so many teachable moments by doing things that you're actually really passionate about. So if you're passionate about camping or dancing or contemporary art, you can teach your children how to count, how to read through those mediums, and you're much more engaged.
You wrote an article about that, and it was a really good article. Think about the teachable moments that aren't in a class and you haven't signed your child up for something. Say you're in the supermarket.
You can count oranges. You can, if a child is younger, you can say, find something green, find something red. You can have them, even if they're older, you can have them read the nutrition labels. There's so much that you can teach a child just about everyday life. And even when you're at the beach, you can draw in sand, you can draw numbers and letters and play. Even 5 minutes a day makes such a difference.
Sure, and as you know, we can create things anywhere out of sand or out of finger paint. We'll talk about that in a while. Well, Eunice Kennedy Shriver once said, if you bungle motherhood, nothing else matters.
Yes.
Yes. However, so tell me about urbanmommies.com. What's on it? I've seen it, but everybody hasn't. They will now, of course.
It's an online magazine, and we send out a newsletter weekly, but really it is a resource online, and it's for stylish parenting, but it's also non-judgmental. And I just want to give kids and families a great start, and moms and dads, for Urban Daddies, great ideas. So we do travel, family travel and travel tips. We do style. We do Gourmet Mommy, which is funky recipes and great, just fun ideas. Like you could do smoothie packs. you freeze yogurt in muffin tins, cut up vegetable or fruits once a week, and maybe some spinach. I always hide spinach in my smoothies.
Sure.
Put Ziploc bags together in the freezer, and you've got your smoothies for a week. That kind of
Sure. And can other women share their ideas? For instance, if you had a boo-boo bunny at your house, I don't know if you did, but we did, which is just a washcloth with an ice cube in it. But it's the boo-boo bunny, and when a kid hurts himself, you say, go get boo-boo bunny. Things will be fine. You know, we'll stop the bleeding.
We always encourage, we've got a comment section on every single article. So, and we always try to open up a conversation.
Sure.
We're also really active on Twitter, our Facebook fan page, and we have different conversations going everywhere.
Safety tips, to wear a helmet, not to wear a helmet, to baby-proof, not to baby-proof.
Yeah.
Well, as you know so well, editing this, moms today are so time-starved. All moms have been, well, my mom wasn't. As Claire and I were talking, our moms stayed home and smoked. And our dads...
Mine still does that.
Yeah, oh, she does. And Dad went to work, and the brother was in the woods reading Playboy. Pretty much how we grew up. Well, so time-starved, what to do, how to balance, how to struggle through the day and be joyful at the end of the day.
And perfect, and look fabulous,
yes,
and happy.
And have perfect nails.
I've discovered shellac. That's the only thing that helps me with my nails.
3 weeks
That was
it
my New
lasts.
Year's resolution. So,
I know, and it doesn't ruin your nails.
Yeah.
So those tips are invaluable.
And really just allowing parents to let go of some things. Your house does not have to be immaculate. If you don't change your child's bed every week, really, does it really matter that much?
No, it's not life-threatening.
I mean, if you have to choose something, sit on the floor for 5 minutes a day and watch your child play and let them lead and have them say, Mommy, I want you to put together a Lego ship for me. And do it, and that's your 5 minutes. And maybe count the Lego pieces as you do it, and then get on with cooking dinner and going to work and being on Facebook and Twitter.
Well, exactly, but you know, working moms have always had to defend that their kids had to go to daycare, or you had to have a babysitter or a nanny or somebody to watch your child, and we talked a lot about quality time rather than quantity time. And some moms, there's a new study in the UK that moms are having babies older at 43 and 45. Carla Bruni Sarkozy, 43, has a child, and they're staying home a little more because they don't feel the pressure to go back to work like they did in their 20s and 30s.
Yeah. And I think also as society changes and a lot more of the men stay at home, now it's actually completely acceptable for the man to stay home and the woman to go full-time work.
Yeah, marry rich. Doesn't matter which way. Exactly. But you know, the high-tech electronic cottage, we can work from home. You can really function without going to the office in many instances. And
you can enhance your children's life, I think. You can I mean, you were talking about time savers for moms or dads. Technology is a huge gift to society right now. You just need to know how to utilize it. You need to harness the iPad apps, and you need to harness the organizational tools that are out there, and it'll enhance your kids' education and also your own life. Exactly. Will you have an Urban Mommy app? One coming? Do you have one? We do. It's about to launch, and we have. It's for younger kids more than the older kids, but it allows moms to track their nursing or feeding schedule, the baby's sleep patterns, immunization records, emergency checklists, and then all of those things that were so annoying when your kids were little and you never had time to write anything down. Right. There is a place to write where baby's first stand-up was, baby's first crawl, first walking, first word, the date, the time, everything. And also the cute things that they say. The kids say the most beautiful things. Exactly. Art and letter proves that. I never have paper, I never have pen to write them down. Kids say but I always have my phone in my hand. I had one of my friend's little boys, Adam, he said to me, Auntie Fanny, I saw you on television. I said, you did? And he says, yep. Did you see me?
And I've remembered it, but so much you don't remember. My second child says to me, "Mom, where is my baby book?" Well, you didn't get one.
We had a house fire.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I just, you know, the first baby gets all of that, 100 pictures, yada, yada, yada. And the second child says, "Are there any pictures of me when I was 2?
Yeah. And that's where also, you have to be careful with social media and putting kids' pictures up, but that's where things like Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, you can have albums, you can share them, and very quickly and
Exactly.
easily.
And do you talk about other things online, thornier subjects, how to educate your child about the birds and the bees or anything like that? Or is it a little more hip and stylish and don't go there?
No, we try to talk about everything, but given that moms have so little time, we try to do a lot of top 10 lists, 20 things that you need to know about the birds and the bees or that kind of thing. And we try to write it in language that's accessible and hip and readable.
Of course. And tell me something I don't know. And you have this week for sure on spring break activities for kids, because I don't know about people out there, but we didn't play fairies in a jar.
Okay, this is my favorite thing that I have discovered in the last little while. You take a jar, you take a glow stick or 2. I'm just gonna crack these. Now glow sticks have a glass vial inside, and then liquid on the outside, so it mixes, and that's what makes them glow for a day. So when you crack the glow sticks, you're also creating a little bit of broken glass in there. So you have to be careful, and this should be parent assisted.
Parent assisted, fine.
Parent assisted.
Okay.
So you take the glow sticks and you dump everything in the jar. I'm just gonna do a couple of them here.
Okay, then do we have to turn the lights out?
And then all you have to do for the fairy part is to stick some glitter in the jar.
Right. This is pretty.
Put on
Look
the
at
top.
The artist. He's enjoying this. He may take a picture of it.
Now, a tip.
It's the Shanghai
especially
Tower.
if you have kids that are like mine who are so curious. Duct tape around the top because there is glass in there.
Right.
You shake it all up. And if we did turn out the lights, this would glow.
Wow.
Now, this is an amazing idea as well for Halloween or Christmas. You could do Lumieres all the way down your walkway.
Yeah. And how long does that last?
It'll last overnight at least. We did it the other day, and my kids slept with them under the covers and created this little...
Okay, but if you're living with Curious George, make sure the parent is there.
Tape around.
If they're doing an experiment, always, like my children used to do. And what's this? Are you baking something?
I'm not baking anything. This is, my mother actually did this for me for my wedding, but she didn't use Lego guys and animals. I've got little Lego men, which my son made sure that I promised to bring back.
Right, of course.
You can pour water in the bundt pan, pour it up to halfway, and freeze it.
Yes.
And then you can scatter whatever the children are interested in. Scatter it in the middle, pour more water inside, and freeze it. Pop it out, and then again, carefully, you'll have all of these little guys frozen in an ice age bundt shape, and you can just chip away and learn excavation.
You see?
Archaeology.
A geologist, an archaeologist, something like that, anthropologist, who knows. And what's no-mess finger painting?
Oh, it's phenomenal. You take Ziploc baggies. Right. Squirt some paint inside.
Yes.
You put a white sheet of paper down on a table, and then tape the Ziploc baggies with the paint inside down on top of the white sheets of paper. Right. No paint anywhere. No paint on your table, no mess. And the kids can draw over the Ziploc bags, and the lines that their fingers are creating will show up white.
How great. Are all of these on your website?
They will be this afternoon.
Okay, please do, because I want to know more about the periodic table of cupcakes.
Oh, yes. If you have a teenager who's learning chemistry, unbelievable way to do it. And a great great one for
okay,
a
you
kid
can
with a
eat the
sweet
HCO, but don't eat the HCl, or whatever that is. How nice to see you. Thanks for
Fanny,
coming
for
off
having
Eagle
me.
Island. That's a trek in the morning.
Yes.
Busy mummy. Thank you. Jill Amery, editor of urbanmommies.com and urbandaddies.com.